All 5 marker lights are operating. They are the proper color, amber, for the front of the coach. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, or missing. Moving our way down to the glass, I have no flaws or imperfections in the glass. The glass all looks like it's in good shape. I'm going to check my wiper. I'm running my hand along the wiper, making sure there are no tears in the rubber. It's in good shape, and this has adequate pressure on the glass. And I would do the same for this one here. I'm going to move over to my driver's side mirror. I'm making sure the mirror is securely mounted in place. I'm looking at my flat glass and my convex mirror. They are both in good shape, not cracked, damaged, broken, or missing. And I would do the same for that mirror over there. Down here we've got a turn signal marker light. We have a low beam and a high beam. The turn signal marker light is a proper color for this position on the coach. It is functioning properly, no more than 50% out, not cracked, damaged, or broken. My low beam and my high beam are all in good shape, not cracked or damaged, and there's no moisture present. And I would do the same for these lights over here, and there's no leaks on the ground underneath the coach. As you work our way around to the side of the coach, I'm looking at my clearance light. The clearance light is a proper color for this location on the coach, not cracked, damaged, or broken, and is in fact functioning. Working my way down to my traffic monitoring device, which is my camera. It is securely mounted and it is clean and unobstructed. Going down to the turn signal and the marker light are both in good shape, not cracked, damaged, or broken. The proper color for this location, amber, on the coach, and they are working. And my reflector here is a proper color and in good shape as well. Working our way back along to the middle lights in the coach. We have a turn signal, a reflector, and a marker light, all the proper color for this position on the coach, amber, and they are not cracked, damaged, or broken, and they are operating properly. Working our way to the back of the coach. Beginning at the top, we have a red clearance light because this is the rear of the coach. That is a proper color, red. It is not cracked, damaged, or broken, and it is operating properly. My reflector and my marker light are both red also because those are on the rear of the vehicle. They are both in good shape. The marker light is functioning. My turn signal is amber and not cracked, damaged, or broken, and functioning as well. Working our way to the back of the coach. Beginning at the top, we have 5 clearance lights, all red for this position on the coach, which is proper. They're not cracked, damaged, or broken, and they are functioning properly. My backup camera is securely mounted and clean and unobstructed. Working our way down, my top turn signal marker lights, high turn signal marker lights are not cracked, damaged, or broken. They are functioning properly, and they are a proper color for this location of the coach. My high brake light fixture is in good shape. We will check the function of that later when we do the brake lights. Working our way down here, we have turn signal brake light fixture. Brake light, marker light, and tail light fixture, turn signal and backup light, and reflector. None of them are cracked, damaged, or broken. The tail lights, brake lights, and the reflector are the proper color for this location. Are red, the amber turn signal, and backup lights. We will check the function of those again when we check the brake lights. Working our way across and making sure my plate light is functioning, not broken or missing, and that is working properly. And I would do the same for all these over here, all these lights over here. Now, I would check all these lights on this side of the coach the same way. Would you like me to do that for you, sir? I'm pretending you are the examiner.
Oh, thank you. That's good, John.
If he says no, okay, we're going to go on to the turn signals. So I'm going to go inside the coach and turn the turn signal. So at this point, you can shut the marker lights and headlights off because you're done with those. So hazards off, left turn signal on. See, we've already inspected the condition of this fixture. Now we're making sure the turn signal in fact works. The front turn signal is working. This one's working. This one is working. This one is functioning. And so are the 2 in the rear. Now I'm going to do the right side. Front turn signal is functioning. Front right side. Middle right side. And the rear right side, as well as the 2 in the rear of the coach, functioning properly. At this point, I'm going to check my brake lights and my backup lights. And sir, I'll need you to help me do that. Stand off of my left mirror, please, and tell me when the brake lights come on and the backup lights.
Give me a thumbs up for me on YouTube.
Okay, I'm going to inspect my wheelchair lift at this point. Open the door, make sure it goes open, locks in place. I'm checking my wheelchair lift, make sure it's securely mounted. I don't see any damage or missing pieces. I'm going to open my hydraulic box here, and I'm checking to make sure that there's no burnt or melted wires. I don't smell any burning, and there's no leaks in the hydraulic reservoir. I would use the pendant to cycle it out, up, down, and stow. Would you like me to do that for you, sir?
No, thank you.
That's it, okay? That's it for here. Over here is my fuel and depth tank fill. Both caps are in place. I make sure that they are tight, securely secured with the gasket, both of them. I don't see any leaking, any signs of leaking here. And I would check under the vehicle to make sure there's no leaks under the vehicle. If I could see the fuel tank, I would make sure that the straps are securely mounted, no excessive rust, there's no signs of leaking anywhere in the fuel tank. Next, I'm going to check my batteries. I can see a little bit of my batteries here. If I can see the whole thing, I make sure the batteries are securely mounted, that the connections are secure, there's no signs of excessive corrosion, no burning or melting, the batteries are not leaking, and the cover is secure on the batteries. You open this, first thing you do is kill the engine. It's debatable whether that works or not. Okay, here I'm going to check my oil. I would pull a dipstick out, wipe it off, reinsert it, pull it back out, and make sure that the fluid level is between the add and the full marks. If it needed any, I would put it right in here. I would check my power steering fluid the same way. I would also make sure that this reservoir is securely mounted and that it's not leaking. Over here is my coolant tank. I'm checking to make sure there's coolant in the sight glass. The tank is securely mounted. There's no excessive rust on the straps anywhere. No signs of leaking anywhere. If it needed any coolant, I would add it here. We never add that. Open that when it's hot, only when it's cool. That's it for here. Next, we're going to do the front axle. Next, we're going to inspect the steering components. I'm going to start with my big metal parts. I'm looking at my drag link and my bell crank and my tie rods. I'm making sure that they are all securely mounted, not bent or damaged, no excessive wear or rust, and they are secured with castle nuts and cotter pins. My lower A-arm and my upper A-arm are also securely mounted, not bent or damaged, no excessive wear or rust, and they are also secured with castle nut and cotter pin. Over to my frame. From what I can see of my frame, there's no excessive rust, no cracked welds, and no holes through the frame. Over to my shock absorber. My shock absorber is securely mounted top and bottom, not leaking. My airbag is fully inflated, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. I don't hear any leaking from the airbag. I'm looking at the base of my airbag. There's no excessive rust on the mount, the airbag. My air line is in good shape, securely mounted both ends from what I can see. It's not kinked, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, no sign of leaking. My air canister is securely mounted, no excessive rust, and I don't hear any leaking from that either. My inner sidewall, from what I can see, there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, damage to the inside of the tire. Across the tread of my tire, there's no excessive uneven wear on the tire. There's no damage or cuts to the tread. This has to be a minimum of 4/32 of an inch to pass, and it cannot be a recap. Outside of my sidewall, outer sidewall, same as the inner sidewall, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts anywhere, no damage to the tire. down to my rim. There's no illegal welds anywhere, not bent or damaged any place. All of my lug nuts are in place. None missing. There's no cracks between them, no excessive rust lines or shiny metal, but all which would indicate a loose rim. Down to my hub. All my hub bolts are in place, and there's no leaking from the hub. My brake caliper, from what I can see, is securely mounted, no excessive rust. If I could see my brake pads, I would want to make sure that they're a minimum 1/4 of an inch thick. My rotor is not excessively worn. There's no excessive rust on it. There's no excessive cracking or bluing, discoloration, which would indicate overheating. And there's no contaminants such as oil or grease on any of my brake components. My valve stem down here is securely mounted with a metal cap, not leaking, and it is inflated to 120 psi. That's it for that. My gasket's in good shape, no torn, no tears, no rips, no missing pieces anywhere. Working our way into our windshield washer fluid reservoir. It is securely mounted, no signs of leaking anywhere, and I can see that it's full of the sight glass here. Working my way into my power steering gearbox and my power steering line, both securely mounted, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts in the line, and there's no signs of leaking anywhere. On my drag link, from what I can see on my drag link here, it is not bent or damaged, no excessive rust. My wires and hoses over here on the right, I don't hear any leaking, and there's no signs of burning or melting anywhere there. Over here is my emergency door release. I would use that if I'm locked out of the bus and I can't get in. I would use that to be able to access the bus. Up here is my electrical compartment. I'm checking to make sure that all my wires are securely mounted, no burning, no melting anywhere. Inside here is my fuse box. Also, no burning or melting in the fuse box. And my emergency spare fuses are along the bottom row, right there, all in place. And my tool is right there in the middle of the box. Now we're going to work our way under the front bumper. My front bumper is my drag link Pitman arm connection. From what I can see, it's not bent or damaged, no excessive rust. And that is secured with a castle nut and cotter pin, which I can see right back here. That's it for under here. That's it. We're going to check the gasket here, make sure that there's no torn or ripped pieces, nothing missing off the gasket. As we work our way into the coach, we're going to check our lights, make sure the step lights are working, not cracked or damaged, and they are working properly. There's no trip hazards anywhere on my steps. The treads are all nice and tight, no loose pieces on the steps, no trip hazards at all. This is my emergency door release if I'm locked in the bus and I can't get out of the bus. So this is how I'd be able to release the door to get out of the bus. My handrails are in good shape, all nice and tight. My shades are all in good shape, working well. My passenger monitoring device is not cracked, damaged, or broken, adjusted properly that I can see from the driver's seat. Working our way into the coach. Up here is more emergency equipment. I've got my fire extinguisher up here. It is securely mounted with a pin. The gauge is in the green and the tag is current. I have 3 reflective triangles back here as well as part of my emergency equipment. As I work my way over to the window, to the emergency exit, I notice that my stickers are in place. The sticker is not missing off the glass. It opens, closes, and latches securely, and I would be listening for the alarm to sound when the window is open, but the coach would have to be running for that to happen, and I would inspect all my other windows the same way. I'm looking at the floor of the coach, making sure there's no trip hazards on the floor anywhere. The floor is secure. All my seat backs and frames are secure, no loose cushions anywhere. There's no trip hazards for anybody. And I would do my emergency hatch, open like this, make sure that's going to work. Opens, closes, latches securely. And I would do the same for the one on the back, okay? Now, that's it for your interior. Okay, we're gonna begin now. So over here is my defroster, making sure my defroster works. The fan goes up, air comes out there. Also my heat works. You wanna turn it down so you're not trying to scream over the fan. My door opens, and it closes, and it latches securely. Next, we're going to move on to our indicators. Left turn signal works, right turn signal, hazard indicators, High beam indicator works. The DEF tank is reading full. We're going to do the ABS, we do the brake test. Moving over here, our backup camera is securely mounted, aimed properly where I can see it, and it does work. Comes on, goes off. Working our way down. My mirrors go left, right, up, down on the driver's mirror, flat mirror, up, down, left, right on my convex mirror, and I would do the same for those over there. That's it for your car. Next after the horn, after the mirrors rather, is electric horn, air horn. That's it.